So let's head to the national dailies. We're unable to connect with our guests. Let's see how we can fix that. But let's walk you through what the major headlines are saying on the papers this morning. We begin with this Nigeria. I hope I can pull that out very quickly. I'll begin with this Nigeria, or maybe I should just begin with the Nigerian Tribune just before we go to this Nigeria. It says, Tinubu approves expansion of Nigerian army to 12 divisions. Tinubu approves expansion of Nigerian army to 12 divisions. The Nigerian Tribune, OK's recruitment of 28,000 personnel to strengthen national security. So 28,000 officers are going to be added to the Nigerian army, and the idea is to strengthen national security, the president says. But there are other riders there as well on the Nigerian Tribune. Top left, we have 3 Oriire kidnappers plead guilty, sentenced to life imprisonment. 3 Oriire kidnappers, top left, plead guilty, sentenced to life imprisonment. OBJ tackles Oshoba on 2003 elections. That's to the top right, page 19. Read, denies deceiving AD governors, and the former president says ex-Ogun governor unaware of several political undercurrents. Well, there are more stories there on the Nigerian Tribune. Let's see if we can take a few more as well regarding the Enugu Air veering off the runway as well. The NSIB says it has begun investigation into the Enugu Air mishap at Benin Airport. Let's see if I can just take more. ADC to Tinubu, Trump's letter won't save you from defeat. ADC to Tinubu, Trump's letter won't save you from defeat. I like the back and forth between the ADC presidential candidate, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, and the incumbent president and those around him. Bayo Onanuga also had to respond to him. Something tells me that, you know what, the presidents and the presidency may be paying attention to what Atiku Abubakar is saying, because they are always having some sort of response to his criticisms and tweets and all of that. So it looks good. There's been the back and forth. Atiku is saying, you know what, you paid some US to lobby, or lobbyists, you know, to PR to lobby for you. The president is also saying, you know what, you also paid some US PR agencies as well to, you know, protect you and lobby for you as well. So there's been that back and forth, both camps trading words as we continue to count down to the elections. And then the Enugu Air, still on, well, the same with the Nigerian Tribune, saying that the NSIB, that's the Nigeria Safety Investigation Bureau, saying that, you know what, we have begun investigation into what precisely happened with this particular Enugu Air mishap. The question to ask is, when will these investigations be ready? And will Nigerians ever get to see it? Because I remember an incident that played out along the Anthony area here in Lagos, where it was a particular helicopter crash on one of the pipelines, and I covered that particular story. And I remember, you know, having to engage with some of the NSIB officials. Well, let's take a look at all that.
Yes, indeed. Kelly, you trailed quite a number of important stories on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune just moments ago, and some of which, you know, we could also speak to the follow-up about the Oriire kidnappers, which is on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, at the top corner to be precise. 3 Oriire kidnappers plead guilty, sentenced to life imprisonment. And, you know, it's similar to the life sentence handed down to their commanders, the ones that had been arrested and paraded last year. And of course, you know, we spoke consistently and exhaustively to that particular one, for which the DSS also said they would appeal because of the weight of the offenses committed by these suspects who have now been convicted. Because we saw on live television how a teacher was beheaded and another teacher also paid the ultimate price amid this kidnapping. And so, even prior to the sentencing, when the charges were laid on these three individuals, the ones that were charged right after the rescue mission, there were concerns, I recall, expressed by our guest, Mr. Dayakitobi, the newspaper review guest, that why wasn't there a murder charge, to these individuals? Because what we saw was kidnapping, terrorism, concealment of information, and conspiracy, with others. And there was one amongst the three who was also charged with recruiting, individuals into the Ansaru group. And so the DSS is also saying concerning this that the life imprisonment sentence is inadequate concerning the weight of offenses, especially because of the death of individuals amid the Oriire kidnap incident. And so the DSS has expressed resolve to appeal this particular sentence as well, and we'll see how that plays out. This is just to say that the sentences, life sentence, is inadequate, not just concerning the murder of the two individuals, the teachers, but also because of the weight, the consequences that arise often as a result of the fight against insecurity in Nigeria, the fight against insurgency, the consequences in life, the continuing bloodshed that we see time and again. And so more often than not, there is the advocacy for the capital punishments to be applied. And here's where we recall the warning issued by the Edo State governor, for which commendations have been issued. He says there will be accelerated trial for these individuals, and they will be taken right to the ring road area of the state and eliminated. But there's also that concern about what comes before the courts, such that people who do not deserve the capital punishment do not get it. But in this case, the public outcry and the trauma and the horror that trailed this kidnapping incident makes it compelling that these guys get the ultimate punishment. Well, let's get to the next paper this morning, and there's so much to chew on as we look at the front page of the New Telegraph. Tinubu okays expansion of Nigerian army to 12 divisions, recruitment of 28,000 men. That's on the front page, but there's also a potpourri of stories right at the top of the paper beneath the nameplate. We see here, Senate threatens arrest warrants for 42 MDAs over invitation snub. That's coming from the Senate this morning, as Senator Fabio apologizes to Oshomole over remarks. You find that one on page 4. There's also Lateef Jakonde Memorial Lecture, Responsible Media, Transparent INEC, Informed Voters, Key to Credible Polls. And lastly, beneath the nameplate, nothing new in present challenges PDP's facing. That's ascribed to the leader of one of the groups of the PDP, Saminu Turaki, SAN. Says party has seen all seasons, but will the party get its acts together and present a formidable front ahead of the 2027 general elections? As it is, there are still discordant tunes coming from both camps within the main opposition party. Now, one of the main opposition parties, Kelly, right? As we now have the ADC and the NDC in the mix. But you have the next paper, Kelly.
Yes, let's take a look at this. Well, I'm going to go back to this Nigeria. This Nigeria, let's go back to this Nigeria. It leads with something else. 311 reps back state police as minority walks out. Opposition alleges constitutional violations despite backing controversial security reforms. Opposition alleges constitutional violations despite backing controversial security reforms. There's the story of DSS rescuing Final Four. We took that yesterday. Quickly to the Vanguard. Let's quickly take that before we get to our first conversation. The Vanguard leads with something else. Christian killings, Nigeria hiring lobbyists to mask insecurity. That's coming from one of the congressmen, Ted Cruz. Nigeria hiring lobbyists to mask insecurity, says officials have created environment that facilitates violence against Christians, says Nigerian officials waged public relations campaign against critics. Tinubu's government deceiving Nigerians over Trump's letter. Timi Frank alleges. That's a conversation we may need to explore in the coming days on this show. Yes, Bukola.
Do we have time for just one more paper before we go to our first conversation? Let's explore the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Kelly, have you taken the Guardian?
No.
Okay, so here's the Guardian for you. There's some politics here, or development rather, for primary decay, from primary decay to tertiary distress. Southeast in throes of tertiary healthcare infrastructure. That's a big story from the Guardian newspaper, and you'll find details on the inside pages 4 and 5 specifically, from primary decay to tertiary distress. And so this again speaks to capital releases. This time at the subnationals, we've been talking time and again about overlapping budgets at the federal level. But if there are issues around dilapidated infrastructure in the healthcare sector in the states, then we should also be asking questions of the state executives and be asking, for an audit of budgeting at that particular level, which according to reports and oftentimes most development experts are the most opaque. Budget transparency even at the state level are even more opaque than at the state level. And Kelly, perhaps that's another conversation that we should be exploring in the coming days. But you do, well to get into the story and get the details about Southeast being in the throes of tertiary healthcare infrastructure. But there are also some other stories on the front page of The Guardian. House approves state police bill amid walkout, includes guardrails, and other reports are quoting 311 House of Reps members throwing their weight behind the state policing bill for the amendment of the State Police Act to accommodate state police. So we're looking forward to what that translates into in terms of a new policing structure at the state level.
All right. All right, so let's get to head to our very first conversation this morning as we take a look at Nigeria's budgeting culture. There are issues around our budget, a lot of controversies. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps has been in the news, and not for good reasons. We're back in just a moment as we take these thoughts of our guests. Please stay with us.